Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. Today we're going to be talking about chickpea masala spaghetti. We haven't made the noodles yet, but this is basically the meat sauce that we have in there. There's chickpeas, jalapeno, and lots of vegetables. It's really, really good, healthy, and it's going to be amazing. Amy, let us know what you think.
You can taste the masala and the curry and the jalapeno.
And while this is not, and I repeat, not a legitimate Indian dish, it's really not. However, I made it in spirit of an Indian dish. Really healthy, no sugar added, and Amy's pretty hot and bothered right now. So
that's really good. You gotta try it.
So please stay tuned, hit that like, share, subscribe button, and let's watch Amy scarf her face down. Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Poul. Today we're going to be doing a video on chickpea masala spaghetti. Now, it's a little bit of a different recipe. Yep. We're going to be making basically a spaghetti in a slow cooker, and the most important part of it, the protein, is going to be chickpeas. You're going to notice we're going to be doing a little bit more of this than eating actual meat. It's not because we're turning into vegetarian. We're absolutely not. However, with that being said, we are going to try to eat a little bit more healthy, and that's the theme of our show. Chickpeas give you a lot of health benefits, and I urge you to look that up because it's important. So here I've got a bowl of chickpeas that we've been soaking for almost 24 hours. And if you're buying them in the bag, you have to soak them. It's like baked beans, right? You buy the navy beans for them, and they need to be put into water. And you need to rinse them too. Now, I'm also going to use this container because I'm going to be marinating them too. So when you're doing chickpeas, you want to make sure that you soak them. Very, very important. It doesn't really give you any harm to rinse them off and clean them off. And what I'm going to do here, because I don't really want to have, I don't want to really chew on this. I'd rather have this more minced. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this into a food processor. Now, I'm not going to show you the food processor because it's going to be a very lengthy process, but there's some other things you can do too. If you don't have a food processor, maybe you have a blender. Blend them. If you don't, you can take a spoon and just mash them. You can break them down that way. Potato masher, stuff like that. It's not hard to do, but you're just going to take your hand. It's not like there's anything on it. It's not going to give you cooties, not like your wife.
Not.
By the way, say hi, Amy.
Hi.
But you're just going to take them and you're going to get them mashed up, cut up whatever way you want. Now, I've done a whole bag here, and I probably got way more than I want for this. So what Amy and I are probably going to do is we're going to take a good amount of it and we're going to roast them in a bit. So that's probably what we're going to do here. And when you're doing this through a food processor, it's pretty messy. So, but that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this to the food processor right now. And we'll come back when we're ready to add some spice in the marination. Why? Because meat, or protein in this case, needs a good marination. So that's important. So we'll be back soon. Welcome back. So we're done with the food processing, and you're going to notice it's not exactly perfect, and that's fine. I don't mind having some clumps, but as long as it's nice and loose in this type of consistency, it's good, and we're fine with that. So here's what we're going to use. I've got some avocado oil. I got especially for this. Just to, give it a little bit of taste and texture that way. Then I've got some curry powder, Amy's favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You don't want to know what this does to Amy at night.
More like what it does to you.
And then we got some tandoori masala. Yeah, and we're putting it in here because it's a masala spaghetti. So, and then we got some jalapeno, just because Amy likes it hot. And she really does. And this is almost time for Amy's favorite part of the whole ordeal. Cleaning. Amy loves the cleaning.
Do I?
You do. You told me you do all the time. You told me last night in the middle of your sleep. That's what you want to do. Now, what you want to do here, guys, in all due seriousness, is mix it really well. You want the oil, you want the flavoring to be mixed in really well, and we're going to let this marinate for about an hour. You can do it for 20 minutes if you want. The longer the better, but you want to make sure you mix this up really, really good, because this is basically going to be the start of the show. It's going to taste really, really good, I think. Now, yeah, it's going to be very curry-ish, and yeah, you probably have the smell in your breath for a little while, but, there's toothpaste and mouthwash for that reason. Trust me, I make Amy use quite a bit of it.
Not.
Now, with the jalapeno and everything else mixed in here, it should seep in here enough and give it a little bit more taste and texture to it. Now, Amy will show you me for a little bit. Can anybody notice what Amy did to me last night?
I didn't do it. He did.
Amy shaved my eyebrows.
No, I didn't.
See that?
No.
Yep, totally did.
No, it wasn't me. It was a prankster.
It was Amy. She shaved my eyebrows.
Nope.
Guys, I want to touch on one subject. There's a lot of really low-life people who just think they're so much better than everybody else, and anybody that wants to sit and make comments about people's appearances. Unfortunately, I'm diabetic, and it took me a long time to get it figured out before anybody realized I was diabetic, and it sucks that way, but I end up losing my teeth to it. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed of it. It's who I am, and it's not that I can't do anything about it. It's not anybody's fault. It is the way it is. It happens to people, but don't belittle people. Like, seriously, this particular person's a very immature person, likes to think that she's something she's not. I'm not homeless. I've never had to surrender my animals, and I don't try to pretend that I'm like so much better than everybody else, even though they don't even have a high school education. So I have my education, so I'm proud of that. Let's try to be kind to each other and not try to bash people, because it's just not the right way to be. So, anyways. So we got this all covered here, and you can see, if I actually put the lights on a little bit better, you see that it's got nice little color to it. It's all spiced up. we're going to let this sit like this for about an hour, and then we're going to start cutting some veggies and get ready for everything else. So until next time, you have a great day. Welcome back to Chef Poul. We're back and we're ready to begin. Don't you just love my sexy no eyebrows? So over here we got our chickpea meat sauce. Not really, but it's chickpeas with a lot of masala and curry spice all over it. That's been sitting, gee, Amy, has it been over an hour?
Yeah.
It's been over an hour.
And jalapeno.
And jalapeno, yeah, can't forget about that or Amy get very angry. Amy wants to cry from the pain. Quopin, I hope you're happy. I hope you're proud of yourself. She's doing this for you, man. So, I'm probably not going to use all of this. Not likely that I will. I'll probably get her to make this into little balls and she can bake this after. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some in here. And we want to make sure that this is going to be an amazing little meat sauce, because that's what it is. We're not making noodles. If you don't know how to make noodles, I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of important. You need to do that.
We are making noodles, just not on video.
Yeah, and it's not going in the slow cooker. We can do those other ways. So I'm going to put a rosé sauce in here. A rosé sauce will give it a different kind of texture than a regular spaghetti sauce. I'm not in the mood to make everything homemade today, as you can tell. And to Amy's disappointment, no, there's no chocolate being put in this.
Ew, that'd be gross.
So she says to here, but on camera, but off of camera, she's going to tell me off. I'm sorry, guys, that's the way Amy is.
No.
We got 4 diced onions, and Amy's going to be so happy. She's got dishes to clean. Now, while we're doing this, we want to take a minute and we want to stir this, because this isn't the whole spaghetti. We're still making noodles. But you always want to take your time and actually stir things in. It's very important. Now, I got a thing of minced ginger. I'm not a big fan of actual cutting ginger up because it's a pain. And then I got 1 sweet pepper.
Because that's all we had left.
And again, we're going to stir this. I'm going to take a couple more spoonfuls of this out because this is going to kind of be our meat sauce. Now, you can make this hotter than what I did. So, Quopin, if you want to get some habanero, you can totally do that. You might have to worry about Amy showing up at your door.
Ghost pepper.
Yeah, that too. You might have to worry about Amy showing up at your door, but I don't mind sharing. Amy knows what I mean. Amy loves cleaning.
He does.
I don't clean. I make her do it. No, I actually do clean. I got some freshly cut cilantro, and yeah, I know people like putting this on top to make it look pretty, but it's kind of useless and BS. You don't need to do that. Then a secret weapon, because...
Lemon.
Does this look like lemon to you?
Or is it lime?
That's lime. Gonna put a few little squirts of lime in there. Come on in.
Hey, we got the cat right here if you guys want to see your bite him.
Right, and we'll be right back. welcome back. We had to say farewell to a good friend of ours that's getting rehomed from one of our neighbors. So a little emotional there. So as you can see in here, we've got everything all mixed. Now we're going to add some sliced green olives. A lot of people say, "Ooh, this is gross," but you know what? Sometimes you have to bite the bullet and just suffer it out, because yeah, it may not necessarily taste to be your favorite, but it's good for you. And if it's good for you, then you know what? You might want to bite the bullet and just learn to get used to it. Try with some other things. Like if you eat this on your own, like even Amy probably wouldn't like them just on their own. It's not really her thing per se. However, with that being said, putting them together with a bunch of stuff really changes things quite a bit, and she'll eat them. And she won't even complain about them either, actually, believe it or not. She actually really likes them. Now, if you want to add some more hot peppers into the actual sauce without marinating them into your chickpeas, and you know, by all means, you can do that too. And I think we're pretty much done with this. What we're going to do with this, rather than wasting, I'm going to have Amy make meatballs out of this, and she's going to roast them again. Or fry them, one of the two. So again, like everything else, we're going to take our time. We're going to stir this in. When you're buying spaghetti sauce, if you're not making it homemade, really learn to read labels, because a lot of them have, well, some will have more sodium than the others, some will have more sugar than the others. Tomatoes is what they're based out of, and yeah, unfortunately for everybody, they are a fruit, so they will have sugar. There's not much you can do about that, but just try to get the stuff that has the lowest sodium. With your vegetables and everything else, if you're really worried, you can dump a little bit of cinnamon in here. I'm not going to. I'm pretty confident we got everything else balanced out pretty good. And by the time this is done, this is going to be one heck of a meal. I mean, really going to taste really good. Now we're going to add the last can of tomato in here. Amy's gonna be happy. She's got so much to clean.
No, I don't have that much.
But the trick here is to really take your time and stir everything in. I mean, this is going to be a pretty meaty sauce. When this is done, you can make your noodles, and you can just pour that on there. It'll be really good. Now it's the middle of summertime. It's still pretty warm. Not that we have the heat wave anymore, but it's still pretty warm. So having the slow cooker is a really, really good option. Not always my favorite, but it is good when you're making spaghetti. Why? Because you can turn this on, you can let this cook, and you don't feel like you have your oven on all day. It's pretty good. So, I think we got that mixed up good enough. We're going to fasten this down, and one thing to notice for a slow cooker, don't ever just open it up and start taste testing. Once it's done, leave it go for as long. Now somehow this fell off, so I don't know exactly. So I'm going to put it like that, and we'll play with it until we're confident we got that. We got to get that fixed or get a new one, but one or the other, whatever. But we're going to let that go about 8 hours, and then we should be good. So we'll come back and we'll show you at the very end there. So, but before we go further, please take a moment, subscribe to our videos, hit the like button, share. It really helps us out, so we appreciate that. So until we're done here, we'll be back. Welcome back. So we're finished. So we're gonna get Amy to come right in here and take a good look at this. See the nice texture here? So all Amy really has to do now when we're ready to do it is just make the noodles. Like, we can put this in Tupperware and serve this later. Like, it's not a big deal. But look at that. That is a friggin' beautiful, I mean, absolutely beautiful, mouth-watering meat sauce. What do you think, Amy?
It's really good.
Now, Amy just took a bite of it, so she can tell you exactly what it tastes like. Does it taste kind of Indian?
Yeah.
Can you taste the masala?
Mm-hmm.
And the curry?
Yeah.
And how hot is it?
Pretty hot from the jalapeno.
And all the other spice I put in here.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story here, guys, you can make this as hot as you want, and you can make it as mild as you want. All we did was a lot of masala, a lot of curry, and I think it was what, two jalapenos. That's it. We let them jalapeno marinate in the chickpeas for about 2 hours, and look, I mean, beautiful taste, beautiful texture to it. All really that remains now is to just make the noodles and put them in, and Amy's gonna have one steaming hot dinner. Yeah, so let us know what you think there. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. It really means a lot to us. Until next time, thanks for coming to Poul's Kitchen.